Hi, Pete Bridle here with Pegasus Risk Management. Does it ever seem like frontline workers sometimes just get a bad rap and end up getting blamed for something much bigger than individual failures? Well, let's take a look and see. Okay, so let's suppose this pie chart represents all the work that is typically done day in, day out by an organization. And from that work, let's say a tiny fraction results in something going wrong, what we call an unplanned event. And such things are typically used as a measure of operating performance. In this example, somebody received an electric shock that could have been fatal. And for a serious event like this, an investigation normally takes place to better understand what happened. And so we need to determine the actions and behaviors related to the event. And what we soon learn is that in this case, although somebody was competent enough to apply the lockout-tagout procedures, they just didn't follow them. Our next step then should be to find out who is at fault and from there, hold them accountable. Sounds pretty straightforward, right? Well, maybe not. Because we don't know if everyone else typically follows the lockout-tagout procedure, we can't determine at this stage whether we're looking at an isolated case or a symptom of a much wider problem. To better understand this, we need to know much more about day-to-day actions and behaviors. So in line with this, we now want to find out how many other people have been doing the exact same thing and haven't been following the lockout-tagout procedure. That requires us to go to the worksite and start asking some questions. Oh dear, what we now find out is that as a result of measuring day-to-day actions and behaviors, we now see that we don't have an isolated case of non-compliance, but that many other workers have been doing the exact same thing. So in other words, we no longer have a single rotten apple, but more like a whole barrel. And so with this understanding of compliance levels, we now have a more accurate picture of what's really going on and are able to better predict the likelihood of future events. But we now also have something of a dilemma. An unplanned event has occurred, so we still need to take action. We originally thought the reason for the unplanned event was due to a single individual, and we would probably have felt comfortable disciplining that person. But now, realizing everybody else has been doing the exact same thing, what are we going to do? Are we still going to discipline someone? And if so, then what are we actually disciplining them for? Is it the action and behavior or the output and result? If it's for the action and behavior, then surely we have to discipline everybody else who at some point in the past has done the exact same thing and not followed the lockout-tagout procedure. And that's a lot of discipline to be handing out. And furthermore, likely suggests that the underlying cause of this unplanned event has less to do with individual errors and more to do with the wider operating culture. On the other hand, if it is for the output and result rather than the action and behavior, then what we're effectively saying is that it's okay to take shortcuts and risks, just so long as they don't result in an unplanned event. So to summarize, what this example is really trying to tell us is that we shouldn't limit our field of view when reacting to unplanned events and believe that we may only have a few rotten apples. Once you start collecting data on actions and behaviors, you'll be in a much better place to determine whether you truly have an isolated case or just a symptom of a much wider problem. And only then will you be in a position to implement effective corrective actions. So we hope you've enjoyed this short video and it's given you some useful food for thought. You can learn more about this and other challenges related to operational risk and human performance at our website, or alternatively you can reach out to us directly. Thanks for watching, and look for other similar videos coming in the near future.